US Secretary of State John Kerry has addressed the World Economic Forum in Davos. He spoke on the ongoing crisis in Syria and also took a moment to express the significance of the diplomatic efforts that led to the lifting of sanctions in Iran.
Iran was only months away from having enough weapons-grade uranium to build 10 to 12 bombs. We are on the cusp of confrontation, believe me. I can't tell you how many leaders, when I traveled through certain areas, said, you have to bomb it. That's the way you will solve this problem. President Obama understood that he would be criticized by some for reaching out to Iran, but he also knew that we were on a collision course, and Iran itself was on a collision course with the international community that in all likelihood, without diplomacy, would have ended in war.
Well, for more on this, we're joined by TRT World's editor-at-large, Craig Copetas. So, Craig, you had to sit through a long John Kerry speech. Was it worth your time?
It was an instant replay of every speech we've heard at Davos from American leaders since September 11th over the past 15 years. Secretary Kerry talked about cusps. The cusp he didn't mention is that he's also about to unleash sanctions against Iran for their building and testing of ballistic missiles. Diplomacy is the art of not saying what you really want to say. It's a standard American stump speech. The world is fine, don't worry about it. He said, for example, he tells this gothic horror story, uses words like grim, savage, hate, atrocities about terrorism. Well, I think we know that, don't we? And then he says the daily struggle of dealing with terror and then in his next breath he says we are not living a new normal. We don't have to. Well, we have been living this new normal. Ask the people, the families whose loved ones died over here by the Blue Mosque or in France or in the United States. He criticized the media. He said that good stories don't sell as well as bad. Well, that's not true, because the most popular stories are always those about well-behaved children and cute animals.
So you got that one wrong. Can we give him some good news? Did he have any good economic news for the world? I mean, what was his position on that?
Invest. The future is with young people. We just have to invest in them. He did not address the situation in Russia. He did not address the cascade effect of the situation in China. He kept away from the big issue up there that's put a cloud over the mountain, the drop in oil prices, because there's no longer any difference between economics and politics. And diplomacy is where these issues are played out. He said, don't listen to the Cassandras who say negative things about what's going on in the world. Well, you know, Cassandra had the gift of prophecy. What many people forget is that Cassandra in mythology was always right.
Craig, always right, Copetas. Thank you very much for now.
Yeah.